So 717, especially with the previous 777 portal, this whole quarter has been huge. You might have been going through a lot of depth, a lot of purge, healing. It doesn't feel as heavy as it had been in the past. Check out my other Sacred Union energy updates and Ascension relationship readings for that. It doesn't feel as heavy as it was in the past. You have the tools and you have the resources now, but there were still some adjustments, some tweaking, as I like to call it, with regards to the light purges. What are you still holding on to? What do you still need to release? We also have some very significant astrological alignments happening this week, this coming week. Venus is going retrograde in Leo, which is going to have a huge impact on our relationships. Depending on where you are. If you're in resistance to relationship, it might highlight that resistance. If you're in harmony, it might highlight that harmony. It might show you where you need to grow in relationships more. We're also having some nodal transits. For example, the North and South node is transiting into the signs of Aries and Libra, where they're going to stay for the next year and a half until 2024. So it feels significant as well. January of 2024. No. Year and a half. Year? Something like that. Yeah. So it feels significant. This whole energy feels really significant. And we've been channeling that forward momentum, right? This is the forward momentum. And you might not be able to see it physically yet in physical form, but you can feel it energetically. That energy is picking up, and you are going to start seeing that in physical form. And you might actually begin to see that in pieces. It might not look as big as you anticipate, but it's going to be, maybe there's going to be new people that you meet or connect with, soul family that are brought in, new opportunities, more heightening of your gifts, more downloads, more upgrades. I'm getting a lot of throat chakra. I had to start this reading twice because it's like you're a lot of throat clearings is happening right now. A lot of throat chakra activations is happening right now. You are really being asked, especially for the cardinal signs. And I have 3 cardinal signs in my chart. We also have the new moon in Cancer, which is increasing the significance of the 717 portal date. You are really stepping into your authentic truth, really stepping into your authority, really stepping into who you are and who you've always been, but patterns and pains and conditionings and just kind of suppress that. Trauma suppress that, but you are really just allowing yourself to step into the fullness of who you are. It's interesting because it's almost like I've been saying, this is my I don't give a fuck era. I'm very much, as you guys heard in the last Sacred Union energy update, I'm very much compassion and empathy and love. I'm very much love and light, but I'm also very much do not fuck with me. And that's kind of like the era. Like, if you need me to be the villain, I will be the villain. I will always treat people with compassion and kindness. I will always treat people with lots and lots of love. But if you need me to be the villain in your story, if you don't want to like me, you don't have to like me. It's like love me or leave me. It's like step up or step out. And I'm not people-pleasing anymore. I'm not concerned with that anymore. I'm having the healthiest boundaries I've ever had, which is loving myself and choosing myself while having that compassion and that empathy and love for others. And so when I say villain, it's there's no animosity towards others. There's no judgment towards others or criticism towards others or negative actions towards others with that. For me, villain era is just having those healthy boundaries and saying, if you don't like me, then you don't have to like me. That's it. Then you don't have to be part of my life. You don't have to be part of my experience. That's it. Because I am so anchored into my truth, and I'm so anchored into who I am, and I'm so loving myself. I lived a life of doubt. I've lived a life of mistreatment. I've lived a life of doubting myself and doubting my intuition and not following my heart. And I'm not doing that anymore. My whole journey, I've learned how to trust my intuition and not doubt. And it's been test and test and test. And when I say life journey, I mean my life journey. It's been test after test after test of following my intuition and trusting that intuition and advocating for myself and standing up for myself. And this is the anchoring in. This is the integration of that. And so it's the wild feminine. It's kind of like the dark feminine. And the dark balances the light. And so I do not ever claim to be perfect, but I always, always, always do my best. I will always do my best to be a good person, to live in that Christ consciousness, to live in that unity consciousness and that love consciousness. And will I make mistakes? Absolutely, absolutely. But I will always try to rectify those mistakes as soon as I know about them. I will always try to honor others as I honor myself. I will always treat people like I treat myself, with love, compassion, and kindness. And other people might not like those decisions that I make, but it will never be from a place of intentional cruelty. It will never be from a place of mistreatment of others. It will never be from a dishonoring place, even if people can't understand that, or even if people aren't able to see that. It will always be from a place of love. So that's where I've kind of entered into, and it's like, it feels very liberating. It feels very freeing. It feels very loving too. And man, it took me a long time to get to this place. So this new season is stepping into your truth, stepping into your authenticity, and just stepping up within yourself and in your life. This is a major glow up. And I heard something recently where they said that your glowing up is almost like their karma for not doing their own work. If you want to, if you're in competition with another person, if you're jealous of another person, let that be a motivator for you to do your own work and step up within your life. Don't view it as competition. Don't view it as jealousy. Don't view it as envy. Just look at your own life and say, okay, what action steps can I take to create the life that I want to live? Rather than looking at the grass is greener on the other side, look at your own grass and see how you can be fertilizing your lawn, how you can be taking care of your garden. Because what you're doing when you're looking at the grass on the other side is you are neglecting yourself. You're neglecting yourself. So don't neglect yourself. Use any of those emotions, anything that you're feeling, as a motivator for your own life. What are you doing for yourself? How are you stepping up within your own life? How are you taking action within your own life to create a better life for yourself, rather than criticizing or bemoaning another person? We see that so much in this society, where we want to knock other people down rather than doing the work to raise ourselves up. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in that. There are times when I get envious, where I get jealous of where other people are, especially in career, because it's like I work my ass off, and of course I want to be there. But I just use that as a motivating energy to work that much harder, and I celebrate those people's success because I know that behind the scenes they're working just as hard. Use it as a motivating factor, not as criticism, not as competition, not as jealousy, but as an opportunity to look within yourself and say, okay, how can I nurture my own garden? And yes, it might take work, and yes, it might take time, but allow yourself the ability to do that. And you don't have to do it alone. You can call upon resources. You can call upon mentors. I've actually reached out to people that I have admired who are way ahead of me than where I want to go. How did you do it? I've used business mentors. I've gone to small business classes. I've asked friends who are more talented or skilled, for example, in design work, how to help me grow and learn a new skill. You apply this. It doesn't happen overnight. You apply it. You nurture your garden. You water your garden. You put in the effort for yourself. And you allow yourself to keep stepping up. That's part of you living your authentic self. It's who do you want to be, and then what steps are you going to take to apply it to get there. And it's not just physical form, but you can use that with regards to the energy as well. What do I need to become a better communicator? What do I need to do to become a more compassionate person, to become a more forgiving person? You just keep taking the steps. And these astrological transits and this support is going to highlight all of this, especially over the next week, but over the next 6 months.